Have you ever done a good deed and wondered if it was the right thing to do? This story might just change how you see kindness forever. Imagine this: a traveler walking all alone through a dense, quiet forest. Suddenly, his eyes lock onto something shocking. A magnificent lion, trapped, tied up with thick ropes from every angle. You could see the pain, the desperation in its eyes. The lion looked at the traveler, its voice a low rumble, and said, "Brother traveler, please, have mercy on me. Be kind and set me free. I swear, I will never forget this favor for the rest of my life." The traveler's heart went out to the majestic creature. He couldn't just leave it there to suffer. So, he got to work. He pulled and tugged at the tough ropes. It was hard work, his muscles straining, but slowly, one by one, the ropes loosened. The lion was free. But as the traveler watched the lion stretch its powerful body, a thought crept into his mind. Such a powerful animal. What if this is dangerous? He pushed the thought away, proud of his good deed. A few days passed. The traveler was taking a rest under a large tree in another part of the forest, enjoying the peace. Suddenly, a shadow fell over him. It was the lion. It had crept up silently and was now staring at him with an intense, unnerving gaze. The traveler's heart started to pound. He sat up and asked, "Why are you staring at me like that?" The lion didn't answer right away. It just kept staring, its eyes filled with something the traveler couldn't quite read. Then, it spoke, its voice low and chilling. "I'm hungry, and you look like a good meal." The traveler was stunned, completely shocked. He felt a sharp sting of betrayal. "Brother," he cried out, "what are you saying? I did such a huge favor for you. I saved your life. You promised you would never forget it." The lion replied calmly, without a hint of remorse, "What you say is true. I haven't forgotten. But forgetting a favor and controlling my nature are two different things. It is my nature to hunt and to eat. I am a lion. I cannot stop being what I am, leaving you now. That's just not possible for me." The traveler was furious and terrified. An argument erupted between them, their voices echoing through the silent forest. The traveler insisted on the promise, the debt of gratitude. The lion insisted on its fundamental nature. They were at a stalemate, and the tension was thick enough to cut with a knife. Finally, they decided they needed someone else to judge their situation, a neutral third party to decide who was right. So, they set off together, a strange pair, the man who saved a life, and the lion who now wanted to take it. Before long, they came across a wise-looking old camel, chewing thoughtfully under the shade of an acacia tree. The traveler, desperate, ran up and explained the whole story, from finding the lion tied, up to the terrifying conversation they just had. He pleaded his case, emphasizing the promise that was made. The camel listened patiently, its long eyelashes blinking slowly. When the traveler finished, the camel let out a long, weary sigh. It turned its gaze to the traveler, and its eyes were filled with a deep, ancient sadness. "Humans," it said, its voice raspy, "you have your own ways. When we camels are young and strong, you load us with your heaviest burdens. We carry you across deserts. We work until our backs ache. But what happens when we grow old and weak? You see us as a burden. You cast us aside, or worse, you send us to our doom. You forget all our years of loyal service." The camel then looked from the traveler to the lion. "I understand the lion's nature. It cannot change what it is. I am with the lion. Your kindness, traveler, was noble, but perhaps naive. I cannot side with you. My advice, be very, very careful." The traveler's heart sank. The camel's words were a bitter pill to swallow. Soon, they saw a figure sitting in deep meditation by a river bank, a wise sage, his face calm and serene. Hope flickered in the traveler's chest. Surely, a man of wisdom would see the justice in his cause. Once again, the traveler poured out his story. He told the sage everything, every detail, his voice filled with emotion. The sage listened intently, not interrupting once. When the story was over, the sage stroked his long white beard and looked at both of them. He murmured, "Lion brother, traveler brother, I have heard your words, but to truly understand, I must see it for myself. I don't fully grasp how this all happened. I need you to show me. Let's go back to the beginning. Recreate the scene exactly as it was." The lion, confident in its position, agreed. The traveler, though confused, was desperate enough to try anything. So they all went back to the spot in the forest where the traveler had first found the lion. The ropes were still lying on the ground. "All right," said the sage. "Now, lion, show me how you were tied. Traveler, you must tie him up again, exactly as he was when you found him." The traveler, guided by the sage's calm instructions, began to tie the lion with the ropes once more. The lion, eager to prove its point, cooperated fully, letting the traveler wrap the ropes around its powerful limbs and body. The traveler worked carefully, making sure every knot was just as tight as it was before. Finally, the lion was completely restrained, just as it had been when the traveler first saw it. It couldn't move a muscle. Once the lion was securely bound, the wise sage looked at the traveler. A slow smile spread across his face. He gestured toward the trapped lion and said softly, "See, this is wisdom. Sometimes, the most intelligent act is to ensure peace and safety. A creature can be free, but if its nature is dangerous and unchangeable, that freedom becomes a threat to others. In such cases, keeping them restrained is the only logical and safe choice." The traveler stared, first at the sage, then at the immobilized lion. The realization washed over him like a cool wave. He had been saved, not by strength, but by prudence and quick thinking. He had avoided a terrible fate. This story teaches us a profound lesson. Kindness is a beautiful, noble virtue, but kindness must always be paired with wisdom. Helping others is one of the best things we can do, but blindly trusting someone, especially when their fundamental nature is at odds with our safety, can lead to disaster. True intelligence isn't just about knowing facts. It's about assessing situations, understanding character, and acting with foresight. Not all favors create bonds of loyalty. Sometimes, the greatest act of prudence is to keep a safe distance or to set firm boundaries. Generosity without discernment can cause harm, but when it's combined with wisdom and compassion, it protects us and ensures our peace. If this story moved you, please share it, subscribe for more tales of wisdom, and type "This is true" in the comments below to let us know it resonated with you. Thanks for watching.